spots way over there where your name appears very well.
It's Mia Benson.
Ben's, oh, well.
I know. I know.
It's your cousin.
You did
Yeah.
that for us.
Might be, and nobody told her.
I think we did bring it up when she was here last time. Good. Okay, we're good.
All right. The time is 6:32. We will now begin roll call. With us tonight is Craig Schulte, Ben Peters, Bill Lovis, myself, Michael Berry, Mike Roth, Kim Van Beck, and Maddie Lehman, and our city attorney, Mia Benson. That's everyone online, right? Yeah, all right. Okay, and with that, we will start open forum. And of course, that's the public's opportunity to speak. If you are already an agenda item later, you have your time allotted, of course, you'll be part of that conversation. We provide 5 minutes for that. And commonly, if you hear your comments already expressed, then we ask that you allow that to be your comments. So, is anyone here for open forum? And just please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Trish Stevick, and I am the Marketing PR Director for Visit Cook County. And I am here tonight on behalf of the Cook County Chamber and Visit Cook County to express our support for the Mayhew Inn development and to encourage the city and continue to work with Amy and Joel St. John on moving this project forward. Since the fire happened in April of 2020, it's been more than 6 years ago that this entire half block has been sitting empty and vacant, and we are excited to hear about the new development and the progress that is being made. We understand that there has been some concerns over the temporary street closures and lane closures during construction. I hear, as of walking into the meeting, that there has been some improvements and changes that have moved that process forward, and that is great to hear. We really feel that this is something that happens in cities and towns across all over and should not be some insurmountable barrier that would be long-term significant negative impacts to our community. So we are excited to hear that that hopefully this will move forward. We just want to express our deepest enthusiasm and excitement for the value of this new building that's going to be coming to our community. Bringing new jobs, new opportunities, and investing in our downtown to make it a lovely space. So thank you so much to all of you who have been working so much on this. Thank you to the developers, thank you to the city councilors, city staff, and Joel and Amy for bringing this project to our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here for an open forum? Anybody else?
It's all you, Jan.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jan Sievertson with Sievertson Gallery, and I'm grateful that Chelsea went first, and she has expressed many of the thoughts that I have, so I won't repeat those, except that I am really very excited for this project, and I particularly wanted to address the perspective from my neighbor. I spoke to my neighbor today, Crosby's, and myself, that we find the possibility of a street closure or street changes or whatever a small sacrifice that we're willing to make because we are very enthusiastic and excited for this project and know that the benefit of this project in the long term far outweighs any sacrifice that we are very willing to make. So I just wanted to let you all know that, and I hope that that you're as excited as we in the downtown are excited about this project, particularly after the fire, and will help expedite their process in whatever ways that you can. But know that, at least on my side of the street, we're very much willing to work with you and do what we can to make this project go quickly and soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here for open forum? All right, and with that, we'll move on to new business, which is the Mayhew construction.
Consent agenda.
Can I,
Oh,
motion
I'm
to
sorry.
approve the consent agenda?
Thank you for
I'll
double down on that.
that excitement and we just moved right along.
It
So
was
yes,
very
back, yeah, so back to the consent agenda. You'll notice there's one temporary liquor permit in there.
Yep.
Are there any proposed changes or amendments to that consent agenda? Would anyone like to make a motion for the consent agenda?
And
I was moved to make that motion.
I have a second.
Second it. Any further questions or discussions? Okay. All in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye. And there we are. There goes that. Now, we will move on to new business, which is the Mayhew construction, and this is part of the project as one small piece of it, which is, of course, how this lays out on our streets. So that is really the issue at hand. I think one clarification I would like to make is this conversation is not about will this project happen or won't this project happen. This project has been well approved. This project is going to happen. And all we're doing here is working through the details of this piece of it, how it affects city and public property in regards to the construction. And I think within the last 36 hours, some very necessary and important conversations were accomplished. And I look forward to hearing some of the really good changes that I understand have taken place. So, Mike, did you have some other?
I think let's just invite him up.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Mayor, members of council, we appreciate your time tonight. In your latest revised packets, as of like maybe 6 minutes ago, I'm sure you received a new map, which is a satellite view indicating where we are proposing to close sidewalks, streets, and gates and have fencing. Does everybody have that? Or I can present from this screen?
Everybody's got it in front of
We
them.
got it.
Okay.
If there's anybody
think I got it.
online, should we have that up on the screen? I don't know if other people are watching or later on if they want to watch later.
I'll
Should
join and present.
Print up, okay, thank you. Cause it is different than what they would have seen if they were looking at the packet.
Correct.
So-
Apparently not.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Aaron Lindberg with Stumble Creek LLC. All right, from the proposed, or the original, our first pass at our logistics and closing streets and alleys was with very minimal conversation with the two affected businesses being Spenonoli's and the Creamery. Today we both met, we met face to face, had extensive conversations with them, understand their needs for this project, and with that, we have decided to keep the alley open for all their deliveries. So these would be the box trucks, the semis that show up to their side door, to their back door. This includes dumpster, recycling, removal, propane, fills. The alley will remain open through a locked gated access that they'll have a lockbox on the gate. Their driver will hop out, unlock that, or they'll call ahead, have the store. We'll refine that process so that the drivers aren't holding up traffic as they're unlocking a gate. The majority of the time when these deliveries happen is during the day, and the gates will be open because we'll be constructing. The idea is to keep pedestrians and vehicle traffic out of there just for their own safety. Are there any, I want to handle this in a couple different sections. Are there any questions, or can we have discussion and I can talk more? Do you want me to talk and then we'll have discussion?
I think back and forth is great.
Okay. Any questions as it relates to the alley closure?
Observation, so you moved the location on Wisconsin Street for where it opens the yellow line, before you had it on the other spot. So
That's correct.
Yeah, you just moved that.
That is to facilitate the majority of their traffic coming in from the south end of the project from west Wisconsin into the alley, so that they don't have to back all the way in from Highway 61.
Sure, okay.
Although there are quite a few trucks that do back into that alley space right now, so.
And that's gonna be a
If
possibility.
they wanna do that, they
Yep.
can, and they can still pull out going north,
Mm-hmm.
no problem.
So effectively, that alley can be accessed from businesses even north of the project. Okay. Okay.
Gate will be open during the day, kinda, is that what you're saying?
We would prefer
Yeah, I
that
mean-
businesses north of the yellow line be accessed from the north side. We're not gonna stop a semi that comes through, and we'll be communicating with those businesses that are kind of what I call unaffected or outside of our area. We'll be communicating with them if we see a pinch point, be able to adapt and change plan in real time so that the businesses are not affected. But from what I'm told today, all those businesses, their deliveries are coming from the north end.
Yeah, and then they pull out of that, well, maybe he'll have to change how they do it, they might have to back in, but I know if they're gonna come through and pull out of the alley to make this turn to go east on Wisconsin, because this is bumped out now to the bike lane. You see where you have that?
Yep,
He'll never be able to make that turn.
to go eastbound on,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that particular supplier may have to back in. Like some of them already do, you
Sure,
know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it was Burnix or whatever, they had a big long truck and I saw him making that turn the other day. And it's
Yeah,
tight.
that's hard to do right now.
It's
with no
tight,
fences.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty tight, but he'll have to revise how they access. I think they're delivering at probably Sven's, I think,
okay.
in the alley, cause he has a side door in the alley where
Yeah.
they put the stuff down in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we takes all his deliveries.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or up or down, yeah. Okay.
And this plan will be very flexible. If it doesn't work, it's not gonna remain static. We're gonna make changes in real time.
We talked to Alex and Christine at the Creamery today after several chats over the last week and then again today, and we wanna meet with them on a regular basis, just, is this working? What do we need to tweak? What do we need to adjust? And just keeping it fluid, keep problem solving.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys saying that, exactly, that willingness to work with your neighbors and other businesses. A lot of those folks on the north side of this have been affected not only by the reconstruction of City Hall, but also the Highway 61, right?
Right.
So like, they're constantly wondering how in the world am I gonna get my
Right.
stuff here,
Yep,
right? And so being aware of that and being flexible is important.
that's the name of the game.
Okay, anything else about the alley portion of this, or we're all set? Okay,
No, as long
Nope.
as they're willing to adapt as we move along, that's important, because I don't think that the swing is gonna work for the semi trucks. You know, other than backing into the north. But as long as they're willing to make adjustments, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, that doesn't mean like all options are on the table, right? There's gonna be Jersey barriers here for a reason, so
Yeah.
some of this space isn't available for any maneuver a truck might want to make. There will be some need for delivery trucks to also accommodate the project.
Right.
Alright.
If we can't retrain them, we'll make adjustments. I've been pretty successful retraining drivers in my career, so.
Alright,
All right, so moving on to the First Avenue and Wisconsin Street closures. We have really refined that to our exact needs, and when we're weighing out these needs, public safety is number one, and our operations fall below that. So we're looking at public safety here as we're swinging in panelized wall sections of this building and installing siding on the exterior, roofing, cranes. So you'll see the closure on First Avenue. That goes to the center line. Northbound traffic will be closed from the intersection at West Wisconsin up North First Avenue in this proposed drawing, and that's where we're gonna have a tower crane set. That's got a 160-foot long jib on it, a bunch of counterweights. It's electrically driven, and this is how we're gonna build this entire building here with no access around the entire building. So we met with Mike and some of his team this morning, and we've honed this down so that snowplows fit through, and minimized it on Wisconsin from an eastbound or a westbound traffic closure to closing the sidewalk and the parking lanes. That's the changes from what you originally saw in your packet.
and the time frame on the crane?
So the crane time frame is current exact duration for the carpentry portion is 12 weeks. That doesn't include us holding the crane over for roofing activities or siding activities. So we'd like to leave that a little bit open, and we're asking for that closure until April 1st of 2027. So starting on August 24th, 2026 through April 1st of 2027. And those dates apply to the entire brown dotted area, and that's currently where our schedule sits today. If things finish sooner, winter cooperates, and we're able to get work done over this winter, things will be flexible, and we'll remove from the public space as soon as possible. So let's take questions on Wisconsin Street.
So, one quick question, so just to be clear, this road closure is not for the entirety of the project,
That's correct.
just for the crane usage, for the most part, right, give or take?
Yeah, there's some other critical activities that happen after framing, which is the main.
Or roughly 6-7 months,
That's correct.
got it.
Winter months.
Right.
Which makes it easier in one sense, because there's not as much traffic, and it makes it more complicated in another, because we are moving snow around.
Right.
They know what our requirements are, and they've accommodated that with their asks, so that's appreciated. So we can continue to push snow with the equipment that we have through that space. And inside of their snow's theirs to deal with.
We just throw it over the fence before you get there. You just gotta wake up sooner.
Yeah, I
Get up-
don't think
we'll
you're
get up
gonna be
earlier
doing
than
that
you
before
might.
they get there.
You got an early start.
But be my guest.
Because they were thinking the same thing.
Right? Yeah.
So one of the concerns that was presented on the Wisconsin Street closure, the sidewalk and the parking lane, was from Sid, the owner of Sven and Ole's, and his concern was the pedestrian traffic. I know you received email communication about other things, but what I heard from him with talking to him for a half an hour was pedestrian traffic. So I told him I would look at that and see how we can get pedestrian traffic in front of his restaurant as soon as possible. One other option that we talked about today is maybe temporarily striping a crosswalk right at his front door, if you will. I don't know how council feels about that, but that could be one thing we could maybe add. Maybe that complicates something. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but just an idea we had.
Everybody keep in mind, Wisconsin is a county road. And so it's always a good conversation to have with the city council since you're down here dealing with everything downtown all the time. So much appreciate you including us in that, but we don't actually get to give permission to close that section. They'll be taking any feedback you've got and then working with the county and their permitting to deal with that issue.
Definitely holds a lot of weight if we have this body's a kind of approval to root, you know, that's a good thing to let Robert know when we're asking to close down his road that's in your city, I guess, so.
Also like a temporary marking of a crosswalk there is what you're suggesting though, getting back to the first part of just the.
I think that would go a long way to allow pedestrians back in front of Svenonoli's business. Pretty minimal expense, doesn't impact the pavement forever.
Those were his concerns. It was the deliveries and the pedestrian traffic in front of his building when we talked to him. So I think those
Yeah.
were his two main
Yes, it
concerns.
was.
One of the issues when we did Highway 61 construction was, do we have to do more signage for business access? And obviously this isn't nearly as big of an impact, but it's an option there too, there's gonna be a lot of Jersey barrier and fence. There's room for us to put a few signs up if they would be helpful to direct people, like this is not open for traffic or Svenonoli's is right there.
Like the right or left turn up First Avenue. We
Yeah.
chatted about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you have to establish different crosswalks because the one at the intersection, both of those will be non-existent.
There's nowhere to cross to there, yeah,
Right,
of
'cause
course
there's
you
no
can,
pedestrian traffic going down that dotted line, right?
yeah.
I mean, nobody can cross from the Blue Water over to the corner once this perimeter gets set up. There'll be nowhere to go. So if we put a crosswalk further down, that's probably a good idea. I mean, I'm just thinking people walking down the sidewalk, if they wanna get to that side of the road,
Yeah,
So a temporary crosswalk maybe from
Sven's front
Sven's
door
front door.
across,
Okay.
yep, and then even looking at,
That's what I thought you
even a
guys were
crosswalk
suggesting.
on the other
What's that?
side.
I don't really know whether the county's interested in additional crosswalks. We're talking about 150 feet here from Broadway to Svenonoli's, so
And just let people cross it, they'll just walk across.
they
it.
might, I mean, they do right now, right?
Yeah, I
So,
know, well, I mean, that's a choice, I'm just trying to establish safety instead of letting.
Yeah, and
people
that might
just
be
do
one of the
what they
reasons why the county's not interested in it, but I think if you wanna talk to them, we're open to whatever, right?
Okay.
want. Yeah, I mean, this is a county, they have to decide, this we can suggest, but, you know, we're not the rulers on the Wisconsin street,
Right.
obviously.
Well, okay, so that in some ways makes that same comment on First Avenue then as well, at the top there
Yeah,
where you
could.
start as well, do you direct people, do you do the same thing and put a crosswalk to get them over on the other block to come down and around? I
Boy.
mean, I don't really care, but I mean, it sounds inconsistent if you don't.
Are you talking about over to Great Gifts, Jeremy's
Yeah.
building?
Right.
Tracy?
Cause
Okay.
you've stopped your sidewalk then,
Right.
so. or-
Same thing.
Yeah, we direct them and, you
Yeah.
know.
I think that's an issue worth looking at a little more before we make any.
Or is it
Decisions.
signage?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
remember how small our downtown is, which is one of the reasons why any closure is really potentially disruptive, but also it's not a long way to get around any of this, so.
Yeah, and I just suggest what I've done on past projects, the authority having jurisdiction, it definitely makes the best call in these situations, 10 times out of 10.
I just thought consistency if you go that route. Your signage or something, but consider both sides of it.
Yeah, we'll definitely have signage indicating sidewalk closed, that people will be able to see. What they do after that, if they even read the sign, is a mystery to all of us. And it's probably different for each human that walks by that area.
Okay, so here's, if I'm standing there by Great Guess, am I going to have any problems looking beyond your crane to see what's going on? I guess it's all gonna be, never mind, it's all gonna be from the one direction. Forget that comment. It's not like you have to look left before you cross the street.
Well, you
Because
should.
any car coming is right.
Because I wouldn't be shocked if somebody doesn't try
This is true.
to cut up through there.
Certainly seen that. I've seen
And the crane is definitely gonna be blocking
Yep,
view.
okay.
It's a huge tool.
It's
What type
also
of
gonna be
crane is this,
gathering
by the
all
way?
of people's attention.
It is a self-erecting tower crane.
Mobile?
Yeah, it drives on multiple semis, and it doesn't crawl, it doesn't have any wheels, it sets permanently. And as we're speaking about the crane, it freewheels at night, so it gets put in neutral at night, so people will be calling you and the crane will be spinning around during certain events. That's by design. Another notable thing with the crane is the jib will always, it's 160 feet long, the jib will always swing over buildings. The loads will never swing over buildings, people, or cars. Very safe crane that's typically used in these type of
How
environments.
far does that counterweight hang out the tail then?
It's about 8 feet, which is why we need to get out on First Avenue to that center line. We've got, went and laid it out today, and is the tail swing that makes us get out there.
And the standing height?
Standing height is adjustable. I'm assuming they're gonna set this one at about, I can't even guess, roughly 50 feet.
So are we looking at, obviously there'd be enough room for two-way traffic on Wisconsin. What are we doing with North First Avenue West? We're gonna get rid of that parking so that we can accommodate two-way traffic? We're not?
But
We're
that's
gonna
not
make
the
it
plan.
We're gonna make it a one-way?
We'll make it
No, no,
two-way
no.
traffic above that blue line and only southbound below that blue line.
How,
Are you gonna tell people not to get bottlenecked in there then? I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
how do we ever make it north again unless they're coming out of the alley?
Well, they may not drive north, there may not be any traffic demand for that, but it's open. But there's no bottleneck, right, cause they can get out southbound. Nobody's driving down and getting stuck.
Right. But north,
No, I'm talking about First Avenue West,
Yep,
okay? You're gonna make it northbound traffic only? Is that what you're saying?
southbound only.
Southbound only, okay.
but you're saying that north.
Off of Highway 61, southbound only.
Nope. It'll be northbound at Highway 61. I mean, right now it is southbound only at Highway 61, right? You can't turn and be going north down here, so. If people show up down here, they're gonna get here from the alley, or they're gonna get here from,
Box or where?
in by the fly box, if that's open, or they're gonna get through Buck's parking lot, or they're gonna get through First Avenue if they cut through there.
The alley.
Yeah, but they're not gonna come from Wisconsin, so it'll be open for that, if people end up there, they'll be able to get out, northbound. And anybody that's going southbound will be able to get out, cause it's open. So the only thing that's gonna get impacted is, you won't be able to turn right from Wisconsin Street onto First Avenue West while this is closed. So you're gonna have to go to Highway 61.
Okay, straight.
And the gate will no longer be there, is that right?
Right.
So they can park right up to that line then.
But they can.
Okay.
Be a trick to get into it, but they can.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah.
they're backing, yeah, I mean, why not? It could back into it. We had talked before when you had the open gates there, like you couldn't expect someone to park right up to it. But now if that's not a gate, then they could come up to it. So I'm just like double checking on this.
True.
That's correct.
Okay.
We won't have a gate at the parking lane. This is, we minimize our gates, our entry points to our construction site for public safety. We may add a gate at that drive lane if it's needed, which would not block traffic. That's correct.
Yeah.
Still park there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the crane.
Parking will not be disturbed in front of that business there.
Very good. Same.
Yeah, so, and even if you did do the gate, then I always suggest that we need to move the parking up, you move it up, like
Yeah,
you
move it
can't
up.
park right up to your gate.
Sure, that's correct.
That's
Yep.
all.
Yep.
The crane's gonna be unloading trucks that are coming south on First Avenue West, right? So they're gonna drive down, park adjacent to the crane, that's where they're gonna be unloaded. And that takes about an hour. So they'll be 3 times a week while the crane is there. We'll be temporarily closing that lane too for loading.
We'll have a flag man on site for that.
Oh,
when
you
those-
gotta unload
when those
trucks
deliveries are
going over
happening.
that road.
Yeah.
So that'll be intermittent closures, you know, with flag people, humans out, so that somebody's not just sitting
Like
behind a
flag people,
semi.
Thank you for keeping me honest on that.
You're saying, so these are concrete wall panels?
Pardon me?
Are they, is it a concrete expansion building? Is that what concrete? I mean, when a truck pulls up, take a long time to unload? Or,
About 45 minutes per
Yeah.
truck, so they grab the whole bundle of, there's a stack of wall panels that equals the truck being 14 feet tall or whatever, so they'll take 10 panels off at once and relocate those to an area inside of our area, and then the semi will pull out and go get its next load. So I don't have anything further to present. We have talked about the most impacted business owners that I know of being the Creamery and Spenonoli's. We have addressed every one of their concerns and they are not making any concessions. The one concern that I haven't addressed is the loss of business that Sid told me he's gonna experience. I asked him if he'd open at noon, I would buy pizza from him every week, and that could help support the business for the whole crew.
Crew lunches for.
But maybe I'll have to grab them dinner on their way out. If he opens at 4, I'll make an order for him. But that is a serious thing that we need to consider is loss of revenue. So we're looking at ways that we can, when we buy safety lunches or something for our crew, we're utilizing directly adjacent businesses.
Thank you.
And I think, as far as Alex and Christine goes, we had a great chat with them again, a lot of back and forth with those two over the last couple of weeks and several months. But I think today in arriving at this plan and how they have access still through, did we talk about that through our lot at all? Making that loop for them?
We're not using that as plan A
Okay.
for.
So, that's right, because we're still taking deliveries through the alley. So business, yeah, that was plan B, I'm sorry.
So what Joel is talking about was we had pitched an idea where it would bring delivery traffic through the Mayhew's future parking lot. And we noticed there's some pinch points there after talking with Mike and where he's placing transformers and just this congestion. That this is why we added the gate on the north end and the
That's right.
south end of the alley.
Sorry.
But we may use that as backup if this alley, north end and south end entrance isn't working, like some people have a concern, we do have another option.
That would be coming, like Aaron said, creating a driving lane through the Mayhew lot to the north, and then Alex is able to back in his trailer, his van, have a little turnaround, and then head north out of the alley would be plan B for the creamery. And we went over that with him, and he felt comfortable with that today as well. But then we kind of backed out of that and talked to Sid, met with Mike and his team, and kind of just arrived at where we're presenting with you all today is just keeping the alley for deliveries. We think that's the cleanest, simplest way to do it, and adjusting from there as needed.
Yeah, this picture doesn't quite show enough to talk about the maneuvers you're talking about, but you can just see the row of parking in our parking lot at the top of this drawing. And any of those maneuvers that are going east and west, that's open in our lot. Like anything you can do on your space is open right now on ours.
Right.
But it ends up at that square that is gonna be full of electric boxes soon after we move them off of their property and out of the way of this construction process. So, and then we've got a row of parking spaces there. So when we planned our building, we made sure that our engineers did all of the thinking about how trucks can maneuver through the space. We may have to revisit that now after this gets closed too, and look at our own parking lot and see if there isn't something we can do to make the access work better too.
Don't you think our parking lot might be kind of full with the loss of parking along the curb?
Not during the construction, July and August is a different story, but certainly till April, I don't know. I don't think so.
One other thing to note on this plan that falls onto another county road is North Broadway. So there's currently angled parking at the curb. And you can barely see it in here, but maybe if Mike zooms in on that area, there's a new curb cut going in there. So there's going to be a driveway to access that parking lot in the future, and we need to remove some of those parking spots to provide access during construction. We're not sure on the sequencing at the moment of when the sidewalk's gonna get torn out, when the curb's gonna get torn out. But at a minimum, we'd be blacking out about 3 of those spaces with just black paint over the white paint and providing a ramp to access that during construction, completing that work at a later date. So again, that's a county road, but that does affect your constituents. I want you to be able to speak intelligently about it if somebody says, what are they doing out there?
Well, and I would hope that, as we've talked about, that the county would be very interested in what we had to say or thought about any of these projects. Because these streets are in the city.
Yeah.
So, I think that all works very well. I would hope they wouldn't just do their thing without that consideration. But that makes total sense that you need to do those parts. Does the fact that they're angled, is that what maybe you might need more space as opposed to a straight in?
I don't think so. I think, they're 9 feet wide, and whether they're angled or straight, you're gonna take 3 of them. So that's just more of a question of
You'll need 3.
how many driveways are gonna be on that street before we have to just rethink the whole strategy.
Well, there's already a lot of issue around trying to back up out of there is not always very good on busy season like right now. It's very difficult for people to back out of those spots.
That's a longer term conversation.
Yeah, it is. That's why I was hesitant to make that out loud tonight.
I'll get that one started with the county and then hand it off to you folks to finish.
So what's on your plate tonight is the alley closure. You have that jurisdiction. Closure on First Avenue West, you have that jurisdiction. I think you're asking for permission to start setting up construction fencing next week?
That's correct. We propose to start Monday, the 24th. And this would be a kind of a slow build up to that. We need to have conversations with the county yet. And I don't know how fast those aren't currently not scheduled, so we would like you to opine on the Wisconsin Street closure. If you say yay or nay, you support it, and we'll bring that information to the county and then pursue all their approvals.
I'd like to make this all in one, so besides Wisconsin Street, First Avenue West as well, and the alley. And ask, are we all in, or where are we with approval for the plan as presented this evening with the changes as made? And I'm gonna state the obvious, I'm sure you're going to do this. Besides the map, the other two sheets that you gave us with timelines that kind of outline this as well, can you just edit those appropriately? That were in the
So it marries up
packet?
with the legend, is it like?
Yeah, the
dates?
legend
Yeah.
and the timeline piece that you'd given us
Yep.
in the packet, just so we have
Yeah,
a clean
that'd be
full
handy.
copy of that, which I'm sure
Make
you
it all
would have done,
consistent.
but-
Yeah,
Yeah, he's sent it via email, but I wonder if
Oh,
we
he
could
did?
just put
Okay.
it together in one package and.
Yeah, all we saw was the map, so never mind, sorry. we'll do that.
And you're referring to the executive timeline with all the
Yes.
dates that's spelled out,
Yeah.
make that consistent with this new information.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so maybe you did, we just didn't see it.
Well, the biggest revision is what he spoke about tonight was that it's from the 24th through April 1st, 2027 is the closure that they're requesting for the road and sidewalk areas.
Right.
And then the alley would be for the project.
that's correct.
Yeah. Just so, once again, we don't forget and other people are just joining us to see we're watching late, it's all available later on. Or businesses, whatever. Okay, so any further questions or comments on these items?
Okay.
Sorry.
No pressure.
Just double checking before I go down that path.
Okay.
In case people are still staring at something important. So, would anyone like to make a motion for approval of the plan as amended this evening for the road closure for the Mayhew construction project that's affecting First Avenue West, Wisconsin Street, and the public alley therein?
I would make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all right, one more time. Any more questions or concerns? All right, and with that, all in favor of the Mayhew Construction Street Closure Project as presented this evening? Aye.
Aye.
All right, and with that, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all
Thank you,
for the
everybody.
really good conversations today.
Thanks
with
for all your
everyone.
patience and rolling with our schedule changes and delays and all those things. It's quite a heavy lift, so we appreciate your patience.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for the time today, Mike.
I assume you're all staying for the rest of the meeting.
Well, what are you guys talking about?
I got snacks for you.
Yeah, you didn't tell us that.
jalapeno, much better.
All right, on to the library board appointments. Do you want
I mean, so like, never have so.
Yes, it's great.
I don't, I mean, they're all great,
Thank you.
you know.
No, thank you. So we're just filling one spot?
It's just
That's
one
right.
spot.
I wondered about this, because I didn't see any language or anything about, just like pick one, or we want them all, or,
Can we have them in rotation?
I didn't think we had 3 spots.
We have one spot, pick one, and know that the other 2 will be getting a note from us saying, thank you, here are our current other board openings, and also we'll be revisiting board openings again in December and January. You'll have more chances.
So the library board has no specific thoughts on this? For
Oh, this is
We
the first.
don't
Ask
ask
them.
boards to weigh in on their own membership.
Oh, good
So actually, a
point.
statute about library
Thank you.
boards says that the mayor appoints and the council approves. But we've not actually ever done that
So we
that
can push it
way.
off on you.
Because if it takes the council's vote to do it anyway, we just have always had it be an open process for folks to make a motion.
Yeah. I mean, I do appreciate all of them, but I do like that Sam Savoy is connected with the school, an English teacher there, and what kind of person. So that was my only, like, oh, I know it's thinner than maybe some than the others, but that was just a thought, being connected to the school.
Okay. I will highlight that, thank you. Anyone else have any thoughts about that, or any of the others, something to point out?
Well, I think, I mean, I appreciate everybody wanting to serve, I think that's awesome. So, pretty cool that you get 3 people. Who applied first?
Oh, just like Bill. Well, that's that. Do we know?
We think it's Sam.
Oh.
They were all within like 2 days of each other.
Someone was first.
I was interested in Crystal's, based on comments of promoting literacy and lifelong learning and encouraging community engagement. And the goal to expand services and enhance the library's role within our community. And guiding their strategic vision, things of that nature. I thought were very fitting if you were on a board and also understood the role of what a library could do or should be doing for our community. In its mission. So that was mine from reading these. Those are the things that stood out. I know what you're saying, the other one was thinner, but yeah, that's also a good point too. You guys want a minute or 2 more to read, or do you have comments?
Well, I'll just put Sam forward. We'll just go like that, right?
Second. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Sam, go ahead.
First one?
Yep.
Second.
Oh, you're done. I thought you were reading for a second. I turned away.
I just want to know the name that he chose, that's all.
Oh, all right. So we have a second on that. Any more questions or comments? All right. All in support of placing Samantha Savoy, said correctly, on the library board?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. All right.
Thank all of them for their plan.
Yeah.
That's great.
Overwhelmingly.
Bad choice in the bunch.
Good
No,
choices.
not at all.
3 good choices there.
We still have a park board opening,
Mm-hmm.
which we will inform the other 2 folks of. And I'm anticipating we'll have other openings when we change the year over, so they'll have another chance.
Oh, on the park, on
Just other boards.
the, our boards in general.
Just
Okay,
regular.
got it. All right.
Regular attrition.
Okay, so now we're on to the IRRR grant application for downtown beautification. Resolution 2026-05. Mike, you worked, or Mandy, who'd like to make some comments on this one? I noticed you did this with the chamber for Visit Cook County, I guess.
This is one of the projects that Linda and I talked about. I'm sure it was her idea. And I appreciate that opportunity for us to work together on something. And then she and I both promptly handed it over to our very capable staff to make happen. So Maddie did a great job putting this application together in short notice, gathering all the information, working with Angel over at the Chamber in Visit Cook County. And here we go. So what are we doing? I think that Maddie described it pretty well in the narrative, so I won't go through that again. Just want to reiterate, what we're contributing to this is $10,000 of money from the electric fund to pay for streetlight repairs that we're gonna make, and the Visit Cook County is gonna pay $5,000 towards their match for banners that are gonna go out there. Anybody have questions about it?
You do.
Seems great. Yeah.
Next time I'll make Maddie do the presentation, I won't make her, she'll be great at it. But since we didn't talk about it beforehand, and she is kindly operating our AV, which is a very critical feature, I won't put her on the spot.
And Mike and I have talked about this before, because this has been an ongoing conversation for a year or two with Visit Cook County and their staff around our light posts in various places around town, and some of them are damaged and whatever, and Mike explained why we hadn't replaced them, basically because you can't find them. But my question is, with consideration for dark skies, I mean, I would not be real keen about just replacing a bunch of too bright, overdone light posts again unnecessarily.
All right, let's specify what we're replacing.
Yeah, there's
Just
plenty of
the
things.
fiberglass base
Yeah.
at the bottom of the light post,
That get nicked.
and a few banner arm.
There's a lot of those that are dented up, the
Yeah,
fiberglass.
they do not survive contact with heavy equipment.
No.
We use heavy equipment a lot in the wintertime on those sidewalks.
Yep.
So, and we've made it, with some of the placement of those lights, very difficult to get around them with heavy equipment. So it's almost inevitable that they're gonna take damage. They've been there for 22 years. I think that they held up really nice. But we're not changing the lights on this, that's a whole different animal. The lights, it wouldn't surprise me if it was close to 10,000 a pole light fixture to replace them, and there's 63 of them.
So I didn't wanna start spending grant money on something we might wanna look at differently at some point in the future.
Yeah, I don't think we have any plans to make significant changes to it, and if we do, we can just do the heads
That's what I was.
rather than touch the posts or the bases where we're spending money right now. So that money is safe for as long as we want it to be that way. And even if we were gonna change a lot of this and rethink how many light posts we have and where they're gonna be placed, which is not in the cards, we can still use the equipment and particularly the banners that we're gonna be buying with this grant.
Yeah, those will be really nice. Alright, that was my only question.
The kiosks that have been installed, do they stay all winter?
Mhm.
Okay.
They're specifically placed where we don't have to plow
We
snow.
can not accidentally run into them.
Yeah,
Okay.
so our plan is not to clear snow around them
Okay.
or in them.
Or damage or whatever, I'm just trying to.
Okay, would anyone like to make a
Well, wait a minute, what are these banners? And what are they promoting? How long are they up? How many total are up at one time?
None of that's been finalized.
63 new banners.
So the budget is 63, enough to put a banner on everything. I can tell you what we've typically done, but I can't tell you what these are gonna look like because they haven't been finalized. Typically, we've done welcome to the city of Grand Marais, sometimes, lighthouse sort of motif. We've had different programs where Art Around Town came and did the design, 4 different designs that were seasonal, and so we had some Lupin banners and some other, and maybe you recall seeing some of these. So I think this is probably gonna be more of a general welcome to Grand Marais kind of banner with a lighthouse kind of motif. That's a closer idea of what they're gonna be, but wait and see. And my recommendation would be that we let the chamber and visit Cook County work on that issue on our behalf.
Yeah.
But they're not intended to be promotional banners for one event or.
They are not, nope, they're
Those are
not.
done
They might be
differently.
seasonal, but they won't be for an event. And they'll just be more general rather than specific dates, so they'll be reusable every year until they wear out.
The banners that you see closer to Java Moose are completely separate and different from those, and those are hung by a specific event.
Yeah, so it ties
They're not the
into
same.
a separate but kind of similar thing I've been hearing comment about, and that's called visual clutter and too much signage and things that aren't removed in a timely fashion. So, just wanted to clear up what these banners are.
Yeah,
Sure.
they'll, when they're up, if that becomes an issue, let's talk about it. But in the meantime, I think we've had a lot of banners up there and typically haven't had a lot of negative feedback. Mostly it's been positive feedback.
Yeah, because these are much smaller.
Yeah.
We're just decorative.
I think these banners are 18 inches by 3 feet, so they're not very big.
All right,
Well, I'd put a motion to approve resolution 2026-05.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, any more comments or questions?
No.
All right, all in favor of resolution 2026-05?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
All right, very good, thank you. Old business, Highway 61 overnight parking.
Back again.
Yes, we included a little bit of this conversation in one of the last conversations, I believe, as I remember, it was when we were talking about the mowing.
I'm sure that was it.
And as you recall, we put in a no overnight parking over the winter months, just to match with the snowplow calendar, hoping that would affect the changes we were looking for, but they have not. And we have had commentary from other business owners along with their own personal observations. And so now the suggested is to make that a 12-month, just you may not park overnight on Highway 61 change to how we do this. So it wouldn't be just for the winter months. Any thoughts on that?
To have no overnight parking 12 months out of the year, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. As a opportunity to hopefully correct the parking issues we're having now. I believe everyone received that email from business owner, right? Yep, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And we've slowly had more rules about parking on 61, right? I mean, or was there a time when that?
Our 61 rules, it's regularly been left off of our rulemaking conversation
Okay.
about parking. And I think that just a couple of times that we've made changes to it, most recently before 2 winters ago, where we said no overnight parking because there was a lot of semi-permanent parking and snowplow operations are going around and building windrows, and really there's a safety issue as much as it's been other issues. And so then now the question is it a safety issue in summertime too, when parking is sitting in that space and accumulating and really being semi-permanent still, rather than just transitory?
Any thoughts?
no, I do think it's a real concern of having all those cars and trucks parked along the curb, and that's my side of town. So I see it often. A number of people are trying to cross the highway and come out between two parked vehicles that are right on the white line. Sometimes they're on foot, sometimes they're on scooters, skateboards, bikes. And it's just not a good look. I mean, we're talking about the boulevards and the mowing. And I'm not fond of the signs that have been popping up advertising yard sales, other businesses that aren't in town, food trucks, this sort of thing. Even the event congestion sign is not a real great look.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion for this change to our parking rules for Highway 61?
I'm gonna make a recommendation about that, not on what the motion should be, but this will have to be an ordinance. And so the motion might be to direct staff to create an ordinance, and then we'll bring it back for you. And you'll have to do it in 2 readings at separate future meetings. So you give us the direction, we'll write up the ordinance. It'll take a little more time to actually get it in place.
Okay. So we're just voting to give you direction to do that.
So should we state that a motion asking city administration to create a change to our ordinance to make parking along Highway 61 no overnight parking?
Is there a motion?
I would ask for a motion for that.
I'll make
Or
that
second.
motion.
I would second that motion.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I'm not quite sure yet where it's gonna live in here, but we'll just model the language on the current seasonal wintertime overnight parking for timing. And then we'll figure out where it should live in here and bring you an ordinance at your next meeting.
Yeah. Okay, and with that, all in favor of this change to the city parking ordinance?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, thank you. Now we'll move on to 4th Avenue.
That was interesting.
So as Mike mentioned at our last meeting, the county engineer did a study for us. We also had a conversation with Sheriff Ben Hallberg on this. The only thing I note about this is, and Mike and I talked about this, is when that study came and was done, the speed sign was also there. You know, the little trailer? I shouldn't say
So it might have
sign.
skewered it a bit.
Oh,
You know, like,
Oh.
that got put up when we had complaints of dust and that kind of stuff?
No, in Catherine
they were
River.
sampling people's speeds.
Yeah, but
'Cause how else
that's
do you
why
do
we
it?
put it there, right?
so I mean, the time, like, it would have been almost better to do the,
So we slowed them down, then we did a speed study.
possibly,
Yeah,
though Ben
so I'm
says,
skeptical that made a major impact in people's
Oh,
behavior, but it probably had some.
I would think
Wait,
so.
Did it say 30 or did it say 20?
It said 30,
I thought it was 20.
it said both, I think.
There's a regulatory
Yeah.
20-mile-an-hour sign posted just south of the ball field,
Yeah,
okay?
you can't really
But you can't
see
see.
that sign.
No, but the trailer was parked there.
Oh, so you're saying
That's
just the
what I mean,
trailer
the
alone
trail-
was affecting?
Just having the
I
trailer
see,
means,
I see.
oh, someone's paying attention
Uh,
to what's going on here. And
Okay.
so it was just unfortunate.
I don't know how you're gonna get
Cause
around
I was like, I thought, yeah.
And Ben
Everybody's
did
doing
say
great.
he had
So
a
what-
few clocked higher.
Well, you can see on Robbie's study that there's some outliers
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of speed. I don't know how you could do that on that road, but, also, his study really supports the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Wouldn't recommend any changes to it. You do have the authority to change it if you want. And right now, there is a problem with one of the speed limit signs, which as soon as you tell me what you want the speed limit to be, we will rectify.
Either get rid of it or make it.
Tomorrow, it'll say what the speed limit is.
Being that we're at the end of a real children area right from the schools heading all the way west and ball fields, and there's kids in and out of the community center because of the skateboard park, along with other things. I would like that to be a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, what I would like, which it is.
Now, Robbie's report did end with the idea that 25 would be supported by his study. So, just to point that out.
Yeah.
I was gonna put forward 25, cause I agree, I think. And I don't think the 20 was supported, like there's no language, legal language out there that says why, when, or how that ever was the thing.
Well, the
that-
current
that
20,
particular-
yeah, I don't know how we could ever say that was created legally. I don't have any records of that.
We don't know, because it's a county sign?
I'm sure that sign's been there
It's
since
much worse,
before
18
the
miles
county
an hour.
stopped claiming it as a county road.
Yes, that's probably their signage.
Yeah.
I just think is a real, I mean, it's what is there by schools, right? You drive by the school, that's the speed. So that was why I went that direction with it, but,
I see what you're saying,
yeah, that's why
cause it's 20 now.
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you do want it to be 20, we probably do have a sign, but if you want it to be 25, I'm sure I don't, so then I can't do it tomorrow.
We only do that.
Alright,
Yeah.
would someone like to make a motion for a speed they would feel comfortable with?
I think 25 isn't too far from being reasonable.
I would second 25.
Okay, any other comments, or Craig, you drove it, way out drive it.
What's
Yeah,
that?
apparently at 54 miles an hour.
Was that me? Doing those cameras up there? Oh, yeah, the spray foam that camera. Oh, yeah, but when it gets paved, are we gonna raise it then?
I guess we'll have to talk about that.
That'll be another sign that's hidden in
Well,
trees by then.
You know, if the signs don't change Catherine's observations, I'm sure we will talk about it again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there is a reason for this, it isn't just the condition of the road, it's because of the children present and the
Yeah,
families.
absolutely.
That is one of her larger motivations, in
Yeah.
watching people push the envelope on that. And that's really where my motivation for this is, because of that, and I think it's a really good one. And if a neighbor, actually two neighbors, because they've been working on this together, have that concern, I think it's worth paying attention to. They were putting up their own little signs and asking people to be
Right.
cautious of children, and
Yep.
A lot of neighborhoods are doing that now, even where my kids live, they're putting up to slow traffic because everybody's going over the speed limit and doesn't seem to, can't catch the attention of law enforcement to do anything in some towns.
so,
So,
Yeah, that's fine. We have a vote now?
okay, so we're at 25,
Yeah, first, and will you second it? Okay.
okay. All in favor for changing the speeds on 4th Avenue West above 5th? Right, we're not doing, just
It runs
clarifying here.
from County Road 7.
And then
north.
to
To County Road 12.
12 to 25 miles per hour.
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye,
thanks
aye,
everyone.
aye.
All right, administrators report.
One item that we warned might be on this agenda, but you may notice isn't on this agenda, is the conveyance of land to the HRA for the apartment building up at the Public Works Garage. So just to give you an update on that, there's still some legal work to do in putting the legal descriptions together and making sure the deed is ready to go, but we're progressing nicely on that and should have it ready for your next meeting. And had a good conversation with HRA and with the developer to really sort through a lot of the issues that were outstanding, including this conveyance and the schedule of it, and the utilities on site and the work that needs to be done to connect to it. And maybe more importantly, what exactly is the piece of land that we're conveying? Because when we started this conversation, we had a drawing from the original developer that said we probably need this much, and it was about 2/3 of the piece that is directly above the Public Works garage. But that drawing is based on a design that's not being used anymore, and so we went back to the design that the current developer is proposing, which is just a rectangle with 16 units in it, that's doesn't need quite as much space. And so now we've got a drawing of a rectangle shaped conveyance that is away from our existing fence on the Public Works garage, avoids where there's an angle in the fence, if you know where that is by our gate, and isn't quite as wide as the next piece. So when this is on your agenda, you'll get to see a drawing of it, and you'll even get to read the legal description of it. But just know that it was designed to ensure that the development fit on the piece of property, that it would be able to meet all of our zoning requirements, all of our parking requirements, and all of the things that they wanted to include on it, and that they're okay with it. So that's moving forward nicely. What's going to be in the building? Just a quick reminder of the 16-unit apartment. It includes number of units at the 60% AMI and a number of units at the 80% AMI. And I think we said 5 of them will be at 60% AMI. Those are all going to be studios. And then another 6 at least will be at the 80% AMI. The HRA had a conversation about their development agreement at their meeting a month ago, and some interesting details came out about what that actually means that I think is good for the public to understand how this works. That 60% AMI means if your income is at that 60% of the area median income, then you qualify for a lower rent payment. The development agreement actually allows the developer to rent that unit to somebody that's within 10% of that number. So a person could come in with a 70% of the AMI and still potentially qualify for the 60% rent rate. And with the 80, it's actually up to 90. Now there's different ways to think about that. The most positive way to think about it, the reason that they're doing it, is it offers more of our residents the potential to access those lower rents. I'll leave that there for you. Also know that the development agreement with the developer, there's some timing about how often or how long they have to offer these units for rent at those rates. If I think it's 2 or 3 months, they have tried to rent these units at that rate and they can't, then they can rent them to people that are just market rate. And then the next time a unit opens up, they have to again offer it at the AMI rate. So, understand that's the mechanics of how this might work for this development, which isn't quite the way I understood it when we talked about it originally. So I was really glad to have participated in that meeting and hear those details, and that you get a chance to hear them too.
And I will add that after these conversations that Mike and I had about this very thing at our EDA board meeting, in which this developers agreement was presented and Jeff Brand was there, I asked him for public purposes to do the exact same thing and explain this and think it through. And Dave Mills made the comment, which is true, with the Lutzen housing by Arrowhead Electric.
Oh, right, yeah.
They ran into problems where they couldn't find people who could rent under the rules there, which had to be an employer and whatever. So we modified those so they weren't sitting there empty to keep them rented. So he kind of made that as an example. And he also, another piece of this was to explain the actual dollar amounts. Like you could make, $300 more a year, and that would bump you out of it within.
I'm not a huge fan of that noise.
So I thought it was a super important thing for us to be aware of and be talking about it because our whole focus and a lot of our support for this is to have attainable housing for people. And they need to really clearly understand what that means. Thank you.
Great, so what the plan would be is you'll have a resolution at your meeting. It'll describe some of these terms about the transaction. As an attachment to that resolution, there will be a deed that is what will be authorized to actually sign and record. We're going to give it to the HRA. They've already agreed to convey the property to the developer even before they knew what the legal description was, just because we're at the kind of tail end of this grant on this project, and making a switch to this developer really makes the timeline tight. It's gonna feel a little awkward from time to time, but it's really good news that they found a developer that can take this over and continue on with the project. And I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it at that.
Anything else?
Do we have a opportunity to see like a visual of what this is gonna look like? The building.
There'll be a, there's like a little line drawing of the shape of it. I'm not sure how far along the design has progressed.
Well, when they get to that point, is that something we get to look at?
It wouldn't be something that you typically would look at
Okay.
Unless they needed to get some sort of special permission, like a variance or conditional use permit.
Well, they did show us the floor layouts and they did show us a drawing. I thought we had it in the packet.
I'm just
We did.
concerned about
Okay.
aesthetics.
We did, okay, yeah, we should give that to them.
Yeah,
Send it out.
I don't
We
think
have it.
any of that is
Well, it's not set in stone.
done, yeah. So
But
I mean,
it's
it's just like a
certainly
first idea. This
better.
could be something we could build that would meet the requirements of the grant. Not, this is a
This is what we're
site plan with a building plan on it. Whatever they've got available, we can have at the next meeting.
Yeah, 'cause this already been passed out to everyone else, so.
But in terms of what our typical review for that would be, we're not looking at anything other than do they meet our zoning requirements.
It doesn't
So it'll be about
include-
height and use and setbacks and lot coverage and parking and those sorts of things. Not so much about what's the aesthetic.
It doesn't include that public space building. This is just a more typical apartment look.
Right.
So it's not rebuilding that first design that was presented to
Yeah,
us.
not at all.
More standard. And remember, these are the developers who did Gunflint View.
Oh, it's PNR Properties, was it?
No, I said they've got different.
Their new name is Vision, and then the
Yeah.
LLC that's gonna do this is called Arboda Lofts, I think, so.
But
Yeah, but it's basically those guys, yeah.
Yeah, so they have familiarity and they have a group already working into harbor zone housing and they intend to move people that work crews back and forth. So they're already familiar with working here and have the ability to get this ramped up a lot faster. And the workbook has been executed for the Minnesota Housing Finance and they have approved these builders and the plan and the numbers. That was super important before we could move forward. Okay, sorry. Something else?
Nope.
Nothing. Nothing? Good.
Well, animal rescue is tomorrow, and Mike is addressing the concern that they have. Just wanting an update on timeline. And tree board has something coming up, I think, on the 20th.
Right, you're gonna look at a grant opportunity.
Yeah.
For funding some of the significant portions of the urban forest management plan to do tree removals and replacements. So that'll be great, that'll be in front of the council soon too.
Yay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
North House is tomorrow, human resource today, it was a good meeting. We're plugging away at the handbook and employee handbook and getting feedback, tackling a lot of the bigger topics. Yeah, it was good.
Anything else that we hit there that I'm tired now?
No, I think that's a big step that Mike and Ravina are working on
Yeah.
with that, and the department heads are part of this process, so I think it's really solid. You know, put all that together, it
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah, then there'll be some, bring back the city council into a work session to talk about, a little bit about the review process again, to try to, how we're gonna, handle the administrator and just be able to streamline that process and give feedback and maybe offer Ravina an opportunity to kind of jump in and give some advice on how to do that. It's gonna be a digital version this year, so we won't have to supply a bunch of chicken scratches of which to try to just decode. Exciting. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Craig?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Well, I just had the EDA meeting and you know how all that went. There was that real estate project and of course the sale of the golf course. And I helped Peter just by notarizing, but he was glistled, but he was doing the pre-signing today for documents. So to be ready for Friday, so it looks like shouldn't be anything unexpected. I don't know why I'm not knocking on wood right now, but yeah, that was it, I guess. And then all the work we were doing the last day and a half to get ready the street closure plan forward, so it was a little bit of a thing, but it went well.
There's that thing.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good work.
Good night.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Mia.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.